everyone, this is Marcelle. I'm here today with Marcia Carole, and we are talking about how Storyropes can be a great way for people to share their stories and the power of the visual aid when going through challenging times, perhaps. So thank you so much for being here.
Sure.
It's wonderful to see you.
Yeah.
So tell me, what is a storyrope? How does it work?
You take fabric and you usually take a long strip of fabric and then tie shorter strips along the long strip. And the shorter strips represent important or meaningful or difficult parts of your story. So as you're telling your story, you're touching the fabric, it's very tactile, it's very visual, so you're kind of almost comforting yourself as you're processing and working through your story.
Wow.
So, and fabric can be found all over the world. So.
Yeah, it's international, right?
Yeah.
No one can not have access to that.
Yeah.
So when do people use Storyropes? Like, is it a ministry thing, or is it kind of a campfire thing, or when should we use a Storyrope?
Well, I think we should use a Storyrope a lot more than we are.
Yeah.
But typically it's when a group of women gather in a church or a book club or a Bible study group or a MOPS group, and they want to get to know each other better. Typically the leader says that, I have a vision for them, for my women to really get to know each other better, and we're not getting deeper.
Yeah.
And so the Storyrope really helps bring out some of those deeper, important parts or pieces of your story.
So do the colors represent something, or like the red, white, and green one? Would that be somewhere?
Well, this is my Storyrope. So my dad's family's from Italy, so that Italian culture really kind of colors my story, and the cultural norms of Italy impacted my childhood.
Sure.
So that's why I chose this red, green, and white. But it could be Hungary too.
Yeah. Excellent.
And then for some really hard parts like loss or divorce or abuse, you might use darker colors. This piece that's invisible I used because I felt invisible during that part of my story. So that's why I chose that kind of material.
Yeah, well, I think we've all been that. We're either suffering or feeling shame or fear or just complete overwhelm, and so I think people can relate pretty quickly when you say I felt invisible, because I was like, I felt invisible too. So there's an instant bond through that. Yeah, it's amazing.
And I think what has really surprised me was when I've gone into different countries, the women think that American women are just having this happy, perfect little life.
If they only knew.
Yeah, and they don't realize we're going through the same ups and downs of life that they are. And so then we form this instant community, like international community, and they understand America better, I understand their culture better.
Wow.
So it's really great in sharing community in a sense.
So who should facilitate these? Any leader that's just trying to bring connection and intimacy to a group, would you say?
Yeah. Anybody who's willing. I would say they need to be, the person who facilitates needs to be comfortable with their own story. So they should have processed, maybe with me or another leader, their own story, and grieved some losses and got some
this
healing.
Might take some decades to process all those things, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're ever done, and I have a friend who does a new Storyrope like every couple of years, and actually her Storyrope has gotten full of more and more color, and the dark has diminished because she's gotten more and more healing in her story, and so she doesn't think about the hard stuff quite so much. So I think the person who facilitates it would be good if they were not just like overcome with emotionality because of the stories of their group. That they would need to be strong enough to be a caregiver.
Yeah.
Yeah. So It's a great tool for even a team building tool, so that you get to know your team better, and maybe have a lot more empathy for your team members, because
you know what they've been through.
wow, I didn't realize you lost your mother, or you battled this disease, or you know, whatever it might be. Gosh, and I'm going to be a little more sensitive to you and understand you a little better.
So if we are watching this and we're not here in Bothell and we want to do a story rope, are there resources online, or can we just Google information to learn more?
Yeah, there's my website, and it actually has a video on how to make the story rope.
Do you really? What's your website?
thecreativecall.net.
Okay, thecreativecall.net. I'm gonna have to check that out and go through it.
Yeah,
I'll come over with you one day and we'll
yeah,
tell
you
my
should
story.
make one, and just click on the story rope link, and you'll kind of hear the whole story.
That's amazing.
And you'll be able to do it yourself. I wanted to facilitate leaders in countries where I was just going to kind of jump in and jump out, so they could keep going.
Be equipped.
Yeah.
So what countries have you been to?
I've been to about 20 countries.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Wow.
in Asia, and Africa, Europe. So I've been to
That's remarkable.
lots of Central America, South America, Peru.
Yeah, we've shared Peru as we've been.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing that you're passing on your wisdom and your hopefulness through your own story with these story ropes. So
I think the story rope, first of all, was a part of my healing journey, and so I saw what it could do for me, and I thought, gosh, if it could do that for me, maybe it could do it for other women.
Yeah.
So it's certainly been tried by me and other team leaders that I partner with.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing. I can't wait to create my story rope.
Oh, good. Yeah. I have all the supplies.
Okay,
Yeah.
we should do a little meetup or something.
Yeah, we'll
have
do a meetup.
couple ladies come over.
Yeah, bring a couple friends and we'll do it.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. Well, thank you so much.
Oh, it's my pleasure to share. This is like being in community and really getting healing. So it's a quilt, and it kind of represents a whole bunch of people helping me in my story, and preparing me for eternity. So that's why I'd have to have that perspective. I want to have that perspective. And now I'm being transparent with you, not invisible. I'm being transparent and telling you my story, so it might help you in telling yours.